Have you ever opened your pantry, pulled out your bag of potatoes, and find something that looks like this? Well, don't throw that potato away. Even though it looks like alien feet coming out of that thing, this here is your ticket to free food. That's right, we're talking potatoes today, and specifically sprouting potatoes, so we can get them ready to plant in the garden come April. Right now it's March 15th, and I'm gonna show you my process for chitting our potatoes and getting all these little eyes to sprout. So what I have here in this basket is a bunch of potatoes that were left over from our garden last year. We got some big reds, we got some little itty baby russets, we got some purple potatoes down in here. These ones, honestly, I had them in this basket in the garage and just kind of forgot about them. But it doesn't get cold enough in the garage to freeze. It's just enough to keep them cool and lasting long throughout the winter. So what I did here, I started with the purple potatoes actually. And I went through and I picked out all the ones that had these little teeny tiny sprouts coming out of them. If you can see that on there, you see the little purple sprouts? These are gonna grow into more food. Every single one of these potatoes can produce like 5 to 10 more potatoes per plant. So if you were to take this one itty bitty purple potato and plant this in your garden, in a container, some kind of pot of some sort, in about 75 days, you're gonna have 5 to 10 more potatoes underneath there. So with these purple potatoes here, they're not long enough yet for what I like to put out in the garden. So I wanna get these to chit a bit more. And then we have these red potatoes here. We got these from our local store. They all have little sprouts coming out of them. And honestly, these are perfect how I like them for when I go to plant them. We've also got some Yukon Golds. Also same thing, they're all sprouted pretty well like that. And these are also from the same store, all locally grown. And then for our russet potatoes, also Michigan grown. And these all have little eyes coming out of them, as you can see. But still, not long enough for what I want them to be when I plant them. And so the process to force these potatoes to sprout, what I like to do is take some egg cartons, and I literally just take them, stand them up in the egg carton, and I don't want them to touch. I want a lot of good airflow. So for the bigger potatoes, I'm gonna space them out like that so they're not touching. For your smaller potatoes, you can fit them in every single spot of the egg carton. Maybe you just have to turn them a little bit once they're sitting flat so they're not touching and they get good airflow. And then what you wanna do is you wanna place these just in front of a sunny window. So this little breezeway here, it's just a spot between our house and our garage, and it's got a great east-facing window that gets all that morning sunlight coming in. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stand these potatoes up, and then over the next month or so, all these eyes are gonna start forcing sprouts to come out. So what you wanna look for on these, you wanna take the potato and look around for the side that has the most eyes that are sprouting. I can see over here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's some on the bottom too, but I'm gonna put the side with the most eyes facing upward. If you want to, you can also cut your potatoes, your seed potatoes. So you could take this and make sure you have 2 to 3 eyes on each one, and you could slice them like that. I've personally had better luck growing the entire potato. And I know people will say the size can change, you'll get smaller potatoes or less yield, but honestly, throwing an entire potato in the ground like this, I had 13 potatoes off one plant harvest. So after you get all your potatoes out here stood up in your egg cartons, you literally don't have to do anything with them until it comes time to plant them in your garden. Just let them do their thing, let them sprout. I know last year we had some red potatoes that literally had sprouts that were, I don't know, 2, 3 feet long coming off the potato. And so you probably wonder, like, what do I do with that, right? And so you can just plant it as is. What we did was we actually planted it with the sprouts laying down and then overlapped the next potato on top of the sprouts. We had like a little trench dug out and just kept layering them over top and over top and over top. And they'll still grow just fine, so don't worry about like having to trim them down or having to knock them off or anything like that. So it's really easy to do. You really have to do nothing except set some potatoes in the sunlight, let them sprout out of here, and then you can plant them wherever you want to plant them at. And you'll have free food coming from store-bought potatoes. And yes, you can use store-bought potatoes. You do not have to buy specifically designated seed potatoes. The issue is that sometimes store-bought potatoes are sprayed with sprout inhibitors that stop them from sprouting. Because, I mean, if you went to the store and saw a bunch of potatoes that look like this, are you gonna buy that one or are you gonna buy the one without sprouts? So they do that to keep the potatoes looking nice. And same thing with the sweet potatoes. That's why on the sweet potatoes, we did a peroxide rinse on them to get any of that stuff off. But with regular potatoes, I've never done a peroxide rinse. I've never done anything except set them in some sunlight and let them sprout. But that's pretty much it. I don't really know what else to say about sprouting seed potatoes or potatoes that you had from the store. You literally just set them down and do nothing. So enjoy your time doing nothing. Hopefully this video was helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing. We'll see you in the next video.